Welcome back. This is Challenge 3 answer video of the Snake Game project. Last time we looked at what you would have to do to complete this challenge, which was we needed to create the create square function, and we would be pushing in objects with two properties, an x and a y, for the x and y coordinates of our canvas, and then it's going to be able to, with the paint function, paint the blue squares to form a block. Alright, so let's open up our Sublime and get started. Alright, so what I'm going to use for this challenge is I'm going to use a for loop. And I'm going to set a variable of I and make it equal to our column. So I'm going to start with this horizontal row right here. And what I want to do is my row is going to be 20, and then I want to increment through my columns. So I want to go from 20 to 21 to 22 to 23 to 24. So now that I have my for loop and I have my I variable and it's going to equal my column, I'm going to say while I is less than column plus length, then I want to do I plus plus. And so what's happening here is we're setting I to equal 20. So it comes over here and we have I is 20. And while it's less than column plus length, so 20 plus 5 is 25, then we're going to do I plus plus. So it's going to come through and it's going to go 20, and then 21, 22, 23, and then 24. Alright? So now let's go ahead and push this into our square array. So we're going to call square array and then dot push, and then we're going to pass in an object. So we want to make sure we do our curly braces, and we're going to pass in a property of x, which is going to equal I, because that's what we want to increment is I, and then separate our properties with a comma, and then we're going to call y, and it's going to be row, because row is not changing, we're just incrementing through our x values, or our x coordinates. Alright, let's go ahead and save this, open it up in our browser and see what it looks like. And there we go, we got our first row. Alright, so let's go back, and next we're going to create the left side right here. Alright, so I'm going to use a while loop for this one. So while our row is less than column plus length, then I want it to do row plus plus, because I want to increment through the row. So the column's not going to change. We're going to stay at column 20, and then we're going to go change the row to go down. So that's why I'm doing row plus plus. Alright, so let's go ahead and push this to our square array. Give it an object, and we're going to pass in x. So x is going to stay the same, so we're just going to call 20, or column, sorry, comma y, and then that's going to be row, because row is getting added on. So we're constantly adding on to row. So let's go ahead and save this. Oops, something went wrong with this one. Let's look at our console and see what happened. So it says it's line 34. Oh, I didn't call push. Sorry about that. Alright, and there we go. We have our vertical line. Now we need to figure out how to get it onto the other side as well. Alright, so one thing we can do is we can just call our square array again. And this time I'm going to do dot push. Pass in an object. And since we want to increment through our x, the x coordinate, we want to go over 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So we want to be right here. So we can do column plus the length, and then comma y, and then row. See what that looks like. Alright, so we went a little bit too far, and that is because we called column plus length, so that's going to be 5. So we're going 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we need a minus 1 to this. So let's go ahead and do that. So just minus 1. Alright, and there we go. And also this is a little bit too long. It's not going to make a square. It's going to make a little rectangle. So let's go ahead and just minus 1 again. And we can minus 1 from up here. So instead of going from row being 20 and then going to 21, 22, 23, 24, we're just going to go to 23. So save that. Alright, there we go. Now lastly, we just need one more for loop. So with this for loop, we're just going to create this bottom row now. So we're going to call var var I equals column, and then while I is less than column plus length, then we want I plus plus. Now since we've already did this while loop with the row is already going to equal what we need it to, which is going to come all the way down here. So we don't need to do anything with row anymore. So we can just call the square array dot push, and then we're going to give it an object with the property of x, and that's going to be equal to our I, and then the property y, and that's just going to be row. And save this. And then there's our block. Alright, so that was challenge 3 answer.